So when I say the word brand, what comes to your mind? You might think of a logo, you might think of a company, you might think of a color scheme or a font, but not very many people understand what a brand actually is. So in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what a brand is, and at the end of the video, I'm going to show you how to create killer brands that will expedite your growth and make sure that your customers keep coming back. If that sounds like something interesting, let's get into it. So there's a ton of ideas as to what a brand actually is. A lot of different people have a lot of different opinions, and a lot of people have controversial opinions. So I'm going to go through a few of them. One, a lot of people think that a brand is just a logo or like the looks of the company, but that's not really what a brand is. That's part of a brand, but that's not what the brand is. Now, some people also say that a brand is what you do, but that's also not what a brand is, because what you do is still just part of the brand. What you do and how you look, those are parts of the brand, but they're not the whole brand. The best definition that I've found is the brand is how people feel about the company and controlling how people feel about that company. Now, at first, one of the reasons you have to create such a good logo is because nobody knows who you are, and so you have to look like a good brand. But later on down the line, your brand becomes the product that you sell. For example, Nike. At first, their branding had to be a really good logo, but now they have to continually make good products and continually make good advertising, because if their product starts to slip, nobody's going to buy from them because their brand is good athletic wear. A logo and a typeface only go so far. You could have an amazing company with amazing product, but if your brand looks like this, no one's going to buy from you. Let's just be honest. On the flip side, if you have a logo like this, but your product's terrible, you're probably going to get a lot of clients up front, but since your product is terrible, they're not going to come back, and they're probably not going to tell their friends about it. So you end up shooting yourself in the foot there, because your entire brand, your branding is good, your design is good, but your brand isn't, because they don't trust you. Because ultimately what a brand is how people feel about your company. And if they feel like they got scammed, or if they feel like they got let down, then your brand isn't a very strong brand. Now, how do we create strong brands? I'm going to give you a few tips. Although it's not the most important thing, a good logo, typeface, and color scheme are really what get you in the door. It's not what makes your brand a good brand or a strong brand, but it's what gets your foot in the door and almost like a rite of passage. The next thing is having 3 bulldogs, and I'm going to explain what that means. So let's picture that you're in a dog farm, and you have 3 dogs. You have the dog of service, the dog of product, and the dog of price. There's always going to be somebody that's going to have one of those dogs that's bigger than your dogs. Your job is to make sure that all of them are good enough to beat anybody else's. You want your net average to be better. If you could get it to the point where all 3 dogs, your product is better, your service is better, and your price is better, that would be amazing, and that's where you're going to get every customer coming your way. But in reality, somebody's going to have a better price than you, but they're probably not going to have as good of a service as you. Somebody might have good service, but their product and price may not be the right place. And that's where you need to make sure that those 3 dogs are perfectly aligned to be better than everybody else's, enough for you, and enough that everyone's going to start coming to you and say, yes, I want to buy your product. Your brand is more than a logo. It's how people feel about your company, why they come to your company, and why they come back. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.